Hello and good evening, everybody. Let me start with the question. Can you remember the first time you wrote your own name? It takes back into your past, doesn't it? Now let's look at our own timeline in our past with reference to writing. Maybe at 8 years of age, you could have written your first letter to your mother saying, I love you, mommy. At 16 years, maybe you could have written your first official letter. At least you could have learned how to write an official letter. And when you were at least 24 years of age, you would have compiled your CV. And when you look at this timeline, looking at all the written evidences, you can compile your parts and provide evidences. The same concept can be applied to the human history. So today, what we are going to look at is how to learn about written and unwritten history. In this short video, we'll be looking at how history is represented through time, what are the significance of the time intervals, what are the methods used to explore the history and its value, what kind of evidences are supported, and how important of it is to keep written records to support today's work when it becomes history tomorrow. So let's take a quick look at our prehistory. Planet Earth has been evolving around the solar system for up to 4 billion years of age. Out of that, historians believe the modern human has been around for starting at for 200,000 years up to 300,000. Even out of that, humans have learned various different things and used those techniques only around for 20,000 years of age, such as agriculture, writing, learning, industrial, and so many other stuff. Which means if we look at our history, we only have written evidences for this particular era only. We are talking about Egyptians, pyramids. Starting with Egyptians, we take along the history line. Then what about all the other eras where we do not have any type of evidences? Historians use apart from written evidences many other methods such as archaeology and anthropology to find out evidences of these historical eras, which is known as prehistory. It's often found out that even within the written historical era, the evidence that we find out are not true all the time. Let's take a quick quiz to look at whether you remember the stuff that we talked about. Why do we call this era as the prehistory? I'm talking about the era before we actually have invented something. You'll have 5 seconds to answer the question, starting now. The answer is the history before the invention of writing. Question number 2. Humans keep changing ancient stories. How do we know if the ancient written records are true or not? 5 seconds again. The answer is we cannot verify that. The only thing that we can do is we can look for some other similar records and correlate them with each other. So let's look at a summary of all our video. We learned the importance of writing in the history and how it tells what type of events have happened in the time and how we can relate and look at what went wrong and right. And it's important to keep written records, and looking at these records, obviously we can learn from our past mistakes. Thank you and have a nice day.